There we go. I think it's should be heading your way now.
Okay, so the reason we got this group together was to. Oh, I got your mural. Yeah, that's great. Oh wow, cool. I like that. So the reason why we're having this meeting is to kind of put together the open project application. It used to be just on our website for anybody to apply whenever they wanted. But just to work better with city policy, I was told we have to have a deadline for it and advertise it a little bit more than just having it on the website, which brought up a bunch of other questions like how many times a year do you want to do this? When would the next deadline be? You want to have a theme? What would the budget be? How many projects would you accept, etc. So just gonna throw that all out there and see if we can answer some of those.
All right. Well, I'm thinking maybe start with, well, what are the scope of the projects again? Let's get that down.
Yeah, the scope could be, I mean, you can certainly go narrower than this, but it should be something from the public art plan. And the public art plan, if you recall, is really broad. I'm gonna bring that up now. I can share my screen. So it has some specific locations back toward the end. So it has some specific locations around downtown, parking decks, you know, the arts district, the strollway, the multi-use path, prominent walls. So, I mean, you should be able to find something in here. Community gateways has some stuff highlighted. And then significant people in our community, public facilities. And then it has some special projects and other initiatives. So
okay.
So we can,
or aluminum, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do 17 to 21.
So, okay. Hey, Jane.
Y'all doing well?
I am.
So good. Far, so good. Just waiting.
Yeah. Okay. And okay. So I'm fine with it fitting in there, I guess, in some ways, but do we need to be more proactive in making sure it's sort of divided up around the city in these projects?
Yep. Yeah, probably.
Okay. I'm just thinking out loud here so that everything doesn't end up in the arts district or on Reynolda Road or, you know, something like that. If we have a statement that says, you know, to that effect, the committee would like to make every effort to share the wealth of art around the city. Something to that effect, you know, it basically doesn't say, oh, it has to be here or there, but it, you know.
Well, do we want to do something like if we do a project in one ward, then that ward is out of rotation until like either all the rest of the wards or like 3 other wards or 4 other wards.
Have something. Mm-hmm. I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. We might need a little chart.
Yeah.
To tell
Right.
people.
Yes. One of those like a tournament flow chart.
Mm-hmm.
Or, a map just says the next round we're looking for artwork proposed in this area,
Yeah.
this piece of the pie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because okay, what were some of the other questions we had, Kelly? Sorry, we got diverted there.
If you wanted to do a theme, and then also the budget, how much do you want to commit to this?
Right.
And if you want to accept more than one project, is it just we're going to do one project, or is it going to be we're going to do as many projects that we get good proposals for up to a certain amount of money?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it going to be something else?
I say we start with 1 and see what sort of response we get.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can, tailor our asks or, tweak it and then expand from there.
Hmm.
And maybe we could choose one of these things, like I kind of like the, well, and it's downtown hide and seek project. I'm looking at this and that looks pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
That might be something that would raise attention, raise awareness, and then we can work on like doing something. We could do something like that, and then we can work on East Winston after that, or whatever seems good.
So this would be, we could do a downtown hide and seek project as just an RFP.
Yeah.
But this is more just for people
who have an idea.
People who have ideas.
Oh, yeah.
That would just be whatever that we didn't know we were looking for.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
See, yeah, with that in mind, I feel like we should open it up to ideas first and see what comes in. Maybe we set a budget and we have a max that you can apply for within the budget or something. Say if we decided, okay, we're going to put $20,000 into this pot and we're looking for 4 projects up to $5,000 each or something. I'm throwing out numbers and just, to get more art going in the city.
Yeah.
That's to me is part of what this is about. I see things on Raleigh's, public art page where somebody, once again has just, painted a light pole or something, or, there are some bigger projects, but there's everything from just little things to huge. And it's like, okay, we need to get the community involved more. My other question about this is, do we limit it to folks who live within Forsyth County or in the neighboring counties around Forsyth as well? Or does this money need to stay within this footprint?
I think it needs to stay in the city.
Okay. Oh, in the city, not Forsyth County?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because this would be city money.
Okay.
And that,
can the artists come from Forsyth County or anywhere else then?
I don't think so. I think they'd have to be living in or have a have a business in Winston-Salem.
studio or something in Winston-Salem,
Well, man, that
or
makes
business. Mhm.
that makes the pool incredibly shallow to the
It does. That's what I was thinking. It's like, oh,
we've been dealing with over and over again.
yeah. But you know, it's again one of those projects that will give some folks some good practice in applying too. So,
Mhm.
let's see. I think
A single project would be 20,000. So I went digging around. I've been trying to clean up our budget, and I think we have 185,000.
it's just sitting there. Okay, waiting for something to happen.
Waiting. It's waiting for an expensive, big project.
Bunch of small ones. It's okay.
A bunch of small-
That made Kelly crazy, but other than that, okay.
And that's assuming. Wonder. That shouldn't be named. Sprague Street, and then doing what we're talking about for bus shelter too. So
Okay. Okay. Oh. Good. He's coming in.
Hey, David.
Sorry, I'm late.
you're fine.
Yep.
So we're talking about the open project application. It should be limited to $20,000 a project max. And it should come out of a theme of the public art plan. And so right now we're kind of talking about what budget we want to outlay to this. You want to do, and how many we want to accept. Right now we're talking about just doing one, but Jane also said maybe we do 4 at $5,000 each. We do have $185,000 in the bank.
And how much are we getting each year now?
Should be 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
We could have another 100 coming our way July 1st.
Yeah, it's another reason to try and to have more produced regularly. That's that we want to see that money being used and not just sitting, but also I think for our council members, they need to see it too.
Yeah.
Been to different places and in their districts, and
They also want to see stewardship of the money too. That it's actually
yes, they do. That we're not just throwing it out willy-nilly. I understand that.
or letting it sit in the and cooling its heels in a bank account somewhere.
Right, exactly. So going back to just a moment to the public art plan, when you get down to that bottom page that we said you may not include page 21, I think is what it was. But that seems like that area of special projects or below special projects.
Oh, I meant 22.
Other initiatives.
Like the traffic signal boxes.
Or the crosswalks, or the,
Yeah, well, no, that's
I mean,
good.
this is the artist initiated projects we're talking about. But is it, I guess that's, or a neighborhood grant, I mean, why would we eliminate those?
Well, I was kind of just being flip about the traffic signal boxes.
Oh, okay. That's okay. You can be flip with us, Kelly. It's okay. because some of those could be
Well,
little things.
going back to the neighborhood placemaking projects,
Mm-hmm.
fun projects for neighborhoods choose the project and artist. Would they have to select like a local artist?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, we're still stuck in the area. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So you want to take those out of the possibility of the grant?
No,
No.
no.
Oh, okay.
I think we don't.
I was going to say that for $5,000, we're talking, I'm sure we're talking about fairly temporary projects, right? Right. I mean,
Yeah,
they could be permanent, but I mean, a lot of times they're not going to be.
Well, that's what we were discussing, David. I mean, it's like, do we set a budget for each call? Like, we have a maximum of 20,000, and one project could take all 20,000, or do we also state within the call that, it could be multiple projects adding up to 20,000, from different artists, or, within that category. So, who's to say that we don't get something for 15,000 and then another for 5,
Yeah, it's nice it would be nice to have the flexibility, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. That's why I think I was looking at, trying to see that these projects would, become more readily available and hopefully produce more art around the city faster in some way.
I think maybe we'd be better off, like, per each project, just setting the price range for that one project. So like one project will be $10,000 for a single artist, and maybe another one will be $20,000 of 5,000 grants each for 4 artists to create smaller temporary work. Otherwise, if we just open it up and say a cap of $20,000, but you could do a $5,000 project, you can do it. It'd be hard to, it would get out of control. And what keeps an artist from just taking a $6,000 project and tagging it with the $20,000 price tag?
Right. You could, when I say that $20,000 is the limit, that's the limit on one project. You could say we're gonna do 3 $20,000 projects if you want. It's
okay. But make that, rather than make it a pool of $20,000 that numerous artists could draw off of, make it like per project within that project.
Well, we could actually, increase the pool to 50,000 and have a limit or a cap or something. I know the committee's got to approve it, but it's just a matter of us thinking through the details before we know what the details are. Is David frozen? No, he's not. Okay.
I think we should make sure that that artists understand. So if you say up to $20,000 on a project, and then people propose towards a deadline, some language that just lets them know that it's the best projects that are going to get selected. We're not trying to spend necessarily $20,000 on it. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, some other language that says to that effect that you're looking for. Go ahead, Cliff.
Oh, it's language that says we don't have to choose somebody simply because we got to spend the money.
Well, I was gonna, sort of like each project will be reviewed and based on merits, all I mean, it's sort of like we need a sort of a list of things that are going to be judged on, as well as creativity.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a contract and not a contest.
yeah. Well, Kelly, these projects won't have to go through the review process with the city, will they? Or will, yes, or, I'm sorry, I asked that in the negative.
No, it won't. It won't have to go through the big purchasing application as long
Okay.
as you're under $20,000.
Okay, that's why we're sticking to under 20, yeah, okay. So that we can eliminate some of the, yeah,
So if say we did a project, a call that was the scope was going to be for $50,000, but we're looking for 5 artists for $10,000.
mhm.
That would still keep us under the.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
That would be considered 5 projects.
Okay.
Mhm. Right. Okay. What were some of the other things on our hit list that we need to discuss?
So I'd like to go to the full Public Art Commission tomorrow with an overall budget, the number of projects that you're kind of shooting for,
Mm-hmm.
and then a deadline. You want to shoot for,
Okay.
the end of June to figure this out, or sooner?
Yeah.
No, yeah. Looking at calendars.
Or even into
Yeah. June.
June
Does
30th.
that seem reasonable to you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelly?
Yeah, the end of June. You think? Or June 30th?
That's a
Yes.
Friday, sure. That will give us several months of committee meetings to dot our i's and cross our t's, I guess.
So we could get this out in the next month or so, and then
Pick it up.
advertise it and really
Mhm.
get it out into the media, and then even through a couple cycles of that,
Mhm.
and then hopefully get some good applications by the 30th.
Yeah, I'm sort of feeling like maybe if we tried to do 2 calls a year for this, in some way, it might be nice if it was more like July and then January again. Just so we don't bump up into the Christmas holidays and all that sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
For
I-
deadlines. Then,
Well, like, I mean, do you want to keep this one June, and then just
yeah, then we may need to,
the other one would be, the end of January?
and then we could, yeah, sort of look at that. Because I'm thinking right now until we work out all the bugs, any more frequently may, cause us more
Yeah.
issues than we know what's coming, at this point.
Yeah.
I don't want to, yeah, I would rather it be smooth. And I know, Kelly, a lot of it's going to just, if we choose 5 artists all of a sudden that have to do projects, it's going to be a lot of paperwork on your end. So
Yeah, depending on what it is, there could be a lot of chasing down
right,
somewhere.
exactly. Sorry.
Yeah, that's my real question about this, is the staff capacity that we have to be able to do these things, especially if we would do as many as 4 projects or 5 projects in addition to what we're presumably in addition to what we're already doing.
Right.
And that could be a question when the applications come in. You kind of say, "Ooh, this one's okay," and it also involves, permission from the Department of Transportation, and Yeah,
Mm.
it's a state road, and
Mm-hmm.
is this worth it? Kind of
Yes.
questions that you can
I
get.
want you to put my sculpture in the roundabout. Uh, sorry, it's always been my favorite one.
Yeah,
So yeah, let's so maybe for June, I'm just throwing this out, guys. Just look at a lower budget to start with. Maybe we say we're going to do, I don't know, $30,000 to $40,000 in that budget for this first series. And if I, somehow break it up, I guess, in some ways. And then once some bugs are worked out, by the time we get to January, hopefully, we can then say the new budget is this. Thoughts? I'm just throwing it out for discussion.
do you want
Or do you want to stay at 50? Yeah.
That sounds like a reasonable plan. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a change in how we're operating. And I think we don't know, it's kind of guessing just to know what we would get in this kind of open call for people inventing their own projects is basically what it amounts to, based on the guidelines that we have, right?
Right.
We don't know we're gonna, I mean, it's not so predictable, and it may take a while for the word to get out too. So starting a little bit smaller might be wise. That's what I hear you saying, Jane, right?
That is what I'm saying. I feel like we, I think it can still be, a $20,000 or $19,000 project, or a couple of them, but yeah, I'm just, I'm also concerned about staff time and, other issues that may come up. I mean, because I just thought of when Kelly said something about DOT and all that, I was like, well, wonder if they proposed it to go in on a private building or something, a mural.
right?
And what would be required. I mean, and things like that, we're gonna have to cross when we get there, So I don't know. Once we get things sort of under our belts, I think we can approach this a little easier. Yeah. Cliff, did you have a thought on any of that?
No, I'm kind of with you all about that. Start small, and
So what do you think? Just like a max outlay for this, Jane? You said 30, 40, 50.
I know we're all over the place, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, with
I'd say
30,
40. I'd say 40. Yeah.
I think here's the thing I keep thinking of. Why don't we say 38? And then we don't come near our $20,000. Because once we hit that 20,000, then it becomes a whole new set of criteria. But
yeah, we can say we have this much to spend. No proposed project may be over $20,000 or something like that.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. We can say 40 then. Okay. It's all about that mental, blockage that we want it to have. Because we've said that before, and projects have come in, 5,000 over budget.
Yeah, that tends to get inflated all the time.
Yes, it does.
And you just have to send the message that you just can't go over it. That's been really hard though recently.
It has been. That's true. Very true. So.
Yeah.
So how many projects would you accept up to?
More like how many projects would you accept?
It just kind of depends on what the project is,
Yeah.
I know.
Could be
2 to 4.
Could be something
2
really
to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 to 4. 2 to 4.
And that's fine to say arrange so that they know that pile of money is going to be divided up somehow.
Two to four.
Mhm.
But do
And
you
by-
want to say up to four? Because if you just
Mhm.
get a bunch of duds in there, you're not gonna fund two projects if they're terrible.
Oh, yeah, no.
No, you're right. However, it needs to be stated so that we.
Up to four. Yeah. I can,
And we're just gonna let them cut loose on all of these proposed public arts initiatives.
Mhm.
say something along the lines of, city facilities, consider privately owned locations if they're
Mhm.
in,
If they're-
viewable from, it would help if you had the building owner's permission.
Mhm.
If you're proposing a mural, if you have
Yeah.
the building, the building
Yeah.
owner's permission
Mhm.
up front, that goes a long way.
Mhm.
Well, and that can be in the application when we get down to the details. It's like proposed location, whether it's privately owned or city owned, And if it's privately, then there's a question about, do you have the consent of the owner
Mhm.
for this
Yeah,
project already? Mhm.
Yeah, is that something that we're going to require of the artists, is that they tell us that they have consent before they start? Otherwise, we're just barking down a black hole.
No, I mean, I could see why in both
I do too.
directions, but I would rather see a good idea without permission
Yeah.
and then say, well, I can get you permission on this building
Mhm.
if you want to move it.
Right.
That
Well,
building
that's the
owner
other
said,
thing
"No,
is that
we can
if
put
it's
it on a
a,
rec center, something like that."
Mm-hmm.
if it's a good project, I mean, that's another question. Or is your project flexible and you're willing to work with the commission to find a location?
Yeah.
Because then that comes back to, I don't think David was here when we were talking about trying to make sure it goes into each of the wards. So it's spread around. It's not just
Right.
all showing up in the arts district on some
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we might add some flexibility questions.
Yeah, that's a good
You
idea.
know, especially when it comes to murals and, if they're open to, changing of scale or whatever, to make it work. I don't know. Am I getting too controlling, guys?
That might be a discussion we would have after we
Okay.
the first round of cuts.
Yeah.
I think it's going to have to evolve with the experience that we have with it and with the artists that are engaged in it. I mean, it's kind of I mean, we're not stating so many of the conditions here, so boy, that really opens it up and it makes it challenging for the artists who don't know anything about doing public art, but we could also get some good ideas and very fresh things that happen. So it should be really interesting to see what happens to this, because I mean it has the possibility of being both a lot of work, or maybe more work than the normal call, which you set up more strictly. you know, and yet, you know, some really good things could come from it too because of that freedom. So if you can tolerate that, if we can tolerate that, I guess,
Yeah.
because we're all working on this together to try to figure it out. It's
Great.
going to be something that we learn from, though.
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we can bring this to the meeting tomorrow and kind of get the larger public art commissions input and sign off hopefully on this to move forward.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Kelly
So
will.
the dates, we got the dates, we've got the amount. And you're gonna, will you write up the an outline of the guidance?
Okay.
Kelly?
Yep. And then okay. So tomorrow I have to send out an email. I think it'd be wise to do this meeting online tomorrow.
Okay.
Can just because I'm in a house of people who have thrown up in the last 24 hours.
Oh
What's going around? Remind me.
A throwing up illness
no.
has hit 2 of the 3 people
Oh,
in my house.
2 of the other 3 people. Okay. Wow.
I'm the holdout.
You're the
You know
holdout.
well, just let us know. You know the advanced system, so you'll know if it's coming on, I guess. I don't want to see you throwing up over Zoom.
I've already had 2 close encounters, so yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm on my 9th life with this one, so
Oh my gosh.
from it.
There's a lot of people getting something.
Yeah.
That's not fun. So yeah, we appreciate meeting in via Zoom. That'll be fine.
Good. There's just too many people in that room to give it to.
Yeah.
I know. That's not good. Okay. That'll be fine. I guess shoot us an email if you got any questions about what you're writing up, I guess would make sense.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think, is there nothing else that we've addressed? Is there anything else we need to address? I should say it that way. I've got to work on my negative speech.
I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
I can't. We have some time. I mean, there's also tomorrow when we sort of maybe finalize it a little bit more. I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll see you all tomorrow then.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you guys. Good to see
Okay,
you.
thanks. Again, sorry I'm late. I'm so late, but you know, sometimes you just get so involved with something that you just forget about everything. So
Yeah.
guys.
That's okay.
All right.
Right. Wonderful. See y'all tomorrow.